What is that? I mean, you're friendly. Oh, Pridewind.
What a grim moment this is. I had hoped that poor wretch, Mallory, would be the last unfortunate trapped by the farce we created.
By the farce? Is it open world and is there level scaling? I don't know about the level scaling. The way that it seems to me, but I'm not entirely sure, is that enemy levels are kind of set. I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me on that. The only reason I say that is because there are certain bosses that are like much higher level than you at the start of the area. So to me, that kind of implies like they're saying, hey, here are bosses that you can eventually fight, right? It's not like the entire area is all just like level 1s and they're easy. And then you get to the next area, they're all level 2s, like, you know, arbitrary numbers here we're talking. So there's actually enemies that are like very high level that will like one-shot you. And then you can kind of like continue on, come back and fight them. So in that sense, to me, it wouldn't really make sense to have level scaling like that or enemies scaling with you. But it is open world. From what I understand, there are 3 zones, so we're still in the first zone. I'm not sure how the zones work, but yeah, it's completely open world. So if you've played any Elder Scrolls games, this really is it's basically like a grimdark Elder Scrolls game set in like an Arthurian, like King Arthur setting. Who are you?
Of course, I should feel obliged to greet you at the very beginning. My name is Prydwen.
Oh, Prydwen.
I'm the last druid in this garden, and its last living creator.
What is that place?
I know what this place used to be, but now the garden is tainted.
Yeah, I can see that. You're all
freaking
tainted.
This is the answer to the meaning we've been searching for.
What kind of meeting?
The first resurrection of Arthur shattered our understanding of the eternal cycle. It was beyond our comprehension. We needed to take a step back, and for that we needed a place of peace. The idea of a garden reminded us of the quiet murmur, and so we created the garden. We really believed that we could reinvent humanity in a world like that.
Did you find your answers?
Not in the way I expected, but yes, I have found the answers. The source of our doom is humanity itself. It's an infinite jest and the perfect tragedy of our lives. That which makes us human is a hindrance that complicates everything. We never truly know what we are or the nature of our lives until we succumb to corruption. Whether it is born of madness or the weirdness, the result remains the same. Only then does everything begin to appear as it truly is. This place is like a terrifying mirror, and so it will remain, unless something is done to change it.
Oh man, I can't. Man, so many dialogue options are locked for me. Do you pick class to start, or do you find piece together? You definitely piece together a build. It is so. What I'll say is it's a little bit more restrictive than the Elder Scrolls system. It's honestly so the class building system. I would say it's almost kind of a combination between Elder Scrolls and Dark Souls. The game itself is not really anything close to Dark Souls, but the leveling works in a sense where you're going to be able... So there's 2 different ways that you can level stats. So basically, you have like all your individual stats, like one-handed, two-handed, magic, crafting, all that kind of stuff. So as you use those skills, you'll get levels there. And then once you get a certain amount of those levels, you get an overall character level. And then from there, you can put in two different things. So there's 2 things. When you level up, you get 1 point in just your attributes, those being your typical ones: strength, dexterity, a spirituality, which is basically magic in this game. There's perception, There's practicality. So one of the, I think perception is like crit damage, sneak damage. It's more of like the rogue style stuff. And then endurance, which is like more health, more stamina, stuff like that. That will kind of tune your build, because the way that equipment works in this game is that you're going to have stat requirements for gear, but it's not hard requirements. So, for example, if you pick up a short swords, just like a base short sword, is going to require 3 strength, but that does not mean that you need 3 strength to use it. What it means is that if you're underneath the threshold, or every weapon has like, or every piece of gear, excuse me, because armor is the same way, has like a base stat. So let's just say, for example, that a short sword has 10 base damage, and you need level, let's say you need level 6. Yeah, it just came out 40 minutes ago, actually. And so let's say you need 6 strength to use that short sword and it has 10 damage. These are just arbitrary numbers because they're easy math. So if you have 3 strength, for example, I don't know if it would do 50%, but it would reduce the effectiveness of that weapon by a certain percentage that you're underneath stats. So like if you need, you need 10 strength, but you only have 6, or if you need 6 strength, but you only have 3, instead of doing 10 damage per hit, it might only do 6 or 7. So it's not like a hard stat system, like something like, I think Dark Souls or Souls games work that way, where you can't actually equip the gear unless you have the stat. So for example, like I have a few pieces of gear, I think on right now, that technically I can't wear, so they're less effective. Also, if you don't have the stats, this is the big one. If you don't have the stats and gear has any kind of enchantment on it, that enchantment won't be active unless you have those stat requirements. So there is some building that way. There's also a skill tree that you can do, or multiple skill trees. So for example, in like the strength category, there's separate skill trees for one-handed, two-handed, shields, and, or not shields, excuse me, one-handed, two-handed, unarmed, and then there's one more. So there's like different trees that you can kind of spec into that'll give you different passives, which it's really nice. And the trees aren't too big, so it's not like you have to like conceptualize like 100 different nodes for each weapon type or each like crafting type. They're very easy to keep track of. And then you can also node them up. So for example, I think like the first one-handed one is like one-handed weapons deal 10% additional damage. You can put like 2 or 3 nodes into it. So if you want to do that node multiple times, you can also do that as a way to kind of arbitrarily expand the tree. It's really nice. It's pretty simple. It's simple, but there's enough to like build your character. And when you start, you don't have to like pick a class, but what you'll do is through the story, someone will ask you like, what's your background? And you can pick like, oh, I came from the military, or I was hunting, and whichever one you pick will give you additional levels in certain skills. So for example, you pick the army, it's going to give you additional stats in heavy armor, one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, stuff like that. So it'll kind of point you in a direction of a build, just because it gives you additional levels of certain stats. Because of course, the higher a single stat is, so for example, if your one-handed weapon is higher than your two-handed weapon stat, you're going to deal slightly more damage with one-handed weapons. Is there anything that can be done?
What has already happened cannot be undone. There is only one thing left to do, to bring it to an end.
How can that be done?
There is a sealed gate. Beyond it lies something that must be destroyed.
We're very good at destroying stuff.
Or not. The choice is yours.
Oh, we will face it.
That to be your path, then here, take the seal.
I've reached the heart of the Guardian Priedwin, a druid. He has asked me to slay the terror born from the slaughter of the halls of trial. Oh, the seal. Okay, so now we can do this fight. Okay, let's see how this goes. Yeah, now I'm very excited for boss fights, because like I was saying before, I was a little bit hesitant with boss fights before. They seemed like they were just big stamina fests, but the past couple bosses I fought have actually had mechanics to them. Okay, I'm gonna save right here, so that way I can just spawn in right here. Okay, let's see how this goes. What even is the terror? Is it a monster, or is it going to be another... Oh, it's another weird born. Oh my god, it's Ghost Rider. Oh, frick, dude, he summons? Hang on. Hang on. Oh my god. Okay. So, as I was saying, the bosses are much better than I thought they were initially. Okay. So, let's go ahead. What do I have here that I can pop? Do I have anything? It's all just like health. I have rejuvenation. Yeah, inventory is definitely nice. Oh, we can also sort quality, price. I wish I could sort by type so that way I could do like all my healing stuff first. Causes berserk. Damage dealt and damage take. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, what health potion do I have equipped? Do I have my baby health potion? Okay, yeah, I have my baby one. Yeah, let's do the big one. Let's do cabbage rolls here. So I think I'm probably going to do my rejuvenation potion. Let's go ahead and create another save, so that way I don't have to swap that all around again. Let's start my health regen. Good lord. Stop sneezing fireballs at me. Okay, gotta be careful. I'm out of stamina. Man, why can I... Oh, I'm out of dodges. I'm out of dodges. Ow! God, man. Oh, man. There's so much dodging here. Okay, I wonder if Oh god, I'm not even close. I was gonna say maybe I can put myself into light armor and get an additional dodge. I think instead what I need to do... Yeah, I gotta put on the All-Mother's Amulet, so in case I die, it revives me. I don't know how to tell if this is charged or not. Yeah, so example right here, right? Like, I don't have 3 endurance, so normally this would give me 2 armor, but it only gives me 1.4 since I don't have the required stats. Same thing here. Okay, so I do have the potion working. Okay, let's get my regen going. Let's give this another shot. Okay, big jukes. Let's keep that dot on her. Okay, we keep our health up. Okay, gotta keep our health regen up with that food. Okay, we'll stay kind of far away, so that way we have some range. Oh. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Keep the bleeds active. We lost our bleed. I walked into that one. Nice! Oh. Sick. Does she not drop anything? I guess she doesn't drop anything. Oh, man. That was... Man, the dodging... So the dodging is weird because, like, she would put it kind of where you were going. So I almost had to, like, kind of walk in direction and then just juke her the other way. Oh, that was a fight. That was easily the hardest fight that I've done so far. Okay, I guess we just keep on walking down. Yeah, so I think unlike... Well, so clearly there were a lot of mechanics there that were much different than playing like an Elder Scrolls game, but I think more so this game definitely rewards there's a little bit of Witcher going on here. There's definitely incentive to prep before fights. Because, like, obviously, so we have our health potions. So there's 2 different ways you can heal. There's health potions, and then there's food. And food re-heals you over time. So there's actually some benefit in, like, prepping some food, eating food before a fight, eating, you know, like that potion that we had before the fight. Is this a better spell than the one we have right now? Oh, and spells also have 2 different versions. So unfortunately, we don't have the stats for this. There's a light cast, which is just single tap, and then there's a hold or a channeled. So in this case, oh, this is really expensive. Yeah, so the way that the stats work, right? Here's like a really good example of what I was talking about before. is, so this requires 5 spirituality and 5 endurance. And you can see in the white numbers is the base value, right? So this life transfusion does 7 to 9 damage base, whereas blood transfusion, which is what I have equipped, that I was using that whole fight, has 3 to 4 equipped, has 3 to 4 damage base. But because my stats are lower than what's required, the damage goes way down. The health cost. So it costs health to cast. Oh, this is different. So rather than costing mana, it costs health. But if you channel it, you gain back health per second. So in this case, if we had the sets, it would get back 6 health a second. But because our stats are too low, it's only going to give us 2 health per second, versus our heavy cast is getting 3. But it costs way more mana. Yeah, so the difference is that this does a lot more damage, but also costs a lot more. So unfortunately, we can't use that, which is a little bit too bad. Oh! Wow, they hid that really well. They hid that really well. Alright, so was that so that was the quest, right? The abomination has been vanquished, perhaps Pride... Oh, we gotta go talk to Prydwen. Man, I will say, just based off that one fight alone, my initial impressions, I think I might have to make another video addressing all the stuff that I've learned after playing, because like 4 hours is quite a bit of playtime, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of stuff that I've kind of corrected my opinions on based on playing the game more. Boss fights is the big one. I have.
You reek of blood.
Sure do.
You reek of purification.
Literally, to get here, I had to swim in a lake of blood.
And set the fate of the garden on a new path. So, peace will come sooner than I expected. Now, at last, I shall have quiet and slumber. Let the flower bloom in all its beauty, and die as it was always meant to. Thank you, Seeker.
Oh, a winged spear. Game seems so much better than the Elder Scrolls swamp. Yeah, so, you know, it's interesting. I think that there are, well, like any game, I think that there are systems that I prefer in one game over another. The way that I feel about this game, I think this game kind of feels to me, weirdly, you could say either like an Elder Scrolls 4.5 or 5.5. And the reason that I say that is depending on where you put Oblivion Remastered. Do you count Oblivion as Remastered as Elder Scrolls 4 or Elder Scrolls 6, right? Because it's right after, it's technically after Skyrim. Because like in terms of visuals, I think Oblivion Remastered blows us out of the water. I think Oblivion Remastered is really nice looking. That being said, you know, this game is not made on a AAA budget. It's actually kind of an indie studio. I think this might only be their first. I think this is their first game. It's like because the studio that made this just makes video games. And I think they wanted to take their IP and move it. I know there are other Tainted Grail games. I don't know if there are other Tainted Grail video games, though. Increases physical damage by 100% when below 50. Wow, that is good for us. Wow, that is really good for us. That is so much better than this spear. That is insanely good for us. Oh, crap. It's two-handed. Shoot. Shoot. Okay, it might not be 100% better for us. God dang it. Oh, well, it puts us in this position that when we're out of mana, we can swap to this. Huh. All right, we'll figure out a way how to work that. Huh. Man, I was so hoping that was one-handed. I kind of figured it couldn't be, though, because of the damage on it. That was a lot of damage packed onto that. All right, that was cool. That was a sweet area. We already collected that. All right, so let's make our way out here. Can I grab that? No, it's a big sword that I can't pick up. All right, let's go for a swim in the blood. Swim in the blood. Okay, let's set up our new quest to follow here. So I think... Yeah, so all the... Okay, so all those are just kind of the bounties. We're eventually going to go here, but we're not going there yet. The Prior might be interested in this discovery. I don't know where this would be. And then we'll see if we can complete that. Can I untrack? No, I have to always be tracking something. There we go. That's fine. Okay, so unfortunately it is it night? Yeah, it's night at this point. So let's go ahead and set up camp. Oh, it's actually morning. So I'm not sure if this fuel... I think that is also going to be used for fast travel. So I'm not gonna fuel this up yet. So we have 3 points. We got a lot of levels down there. Now, was it... Let's see. What stat did I need for this? It was dexterity. Oh, and we already have 2, so we can put 1 point into that, which will negate any debuffs that we're getting there. Man, unfortunately, my endurance is really low. But, like, do I want to... Because, like, I kind of want to be focused in something first. The question is, do I want to put it into spirituality or do I want to put it in strength? I think I'm going to put it into spirituality. Because to use stronger spells, I'm going to need some spirituality. And it looks like I might also need... I forgot which one it was. I think it might have been perception that I needed. Movement, attack speed, parry. So I was building... Yeah, we were building into this for statuses. Oh, we definitely want the potent poisons. So that way our bleed and burn deals more. Although we really haven't found a way to deal better burn, though, is the thing. Let's maybe go back into one-handed. And then I have 1 more point to spend. Yeah, let's go for debilitating blows, because I'm not really parrying, so I need a way to stun. And then let's go ahead and cook some food. Oh, you know what I'm wondering about this now? I'm wondering if... So if you're restoring 125 health over 60 seconds, I'm wondering if the way this okay, the way I thought about this, I've fixed it in my head. So the way I was thinking about this is, if you're under, let's say, was it a fixed healing? So like every second, I can't do the math on this fast. Let's say this restored 60 health. Excuse me again. I was wondering if this restores 60 health, does it restore 1 health every second, or does it restore at a faster rate? And let's say it restores 10 health, it pauses, and then 10 seconds later you get hit. Does it heal you up faster? I don't think that's the case. Let's make some potatoes. Yeah, let's make a bunch of these cabbage rolls. Okay. Nice. Actually, let's just cook up the rest.